Hello, I'm Dr. James Custo. I'm a consultant psychiatrist and I specialise in adult ADHD, which is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Amongst my various professional duties, I work part-time in the NHS at Barnet Hospital, where I run the Adult ADHD Life Skills Group programme, the first of its kind in the UK. Some ask if adult ADHD is a big enough issue to warrant a specialist clinic with all the other worthy claims to precious NHS funds. What we're seeing through cutting-edge research is just how large and pervasive a problem undiagnosed ADHD actually is. Out of the 1.5 million adults believed to have it in the UK, only under 200,000 have actually been diagnosed, and even less are receiving treatment. Having worked in the field for many years, I can tell you with confidence that this is a very real problem, and it isn't just a condition that affects naughty children who are struggling with their schoolwork. It's a very common and impairing condition that starts in childhood and typically continues into adulthood. Thousands of peer-reviewed studies teach us a lot about this interesting, multifaceted, and often misunderstood condition. We are seeing, especially through large database studies, that the human costs of having it into adulthood are huge, with a significant physical, psychological, and social burden. From driving accidents, to obesity, to drug and alcohol addiction, to depression, and even higher rates of STDs and unwanted pregnancies, the cost to the health service of untreated ADHD is breathtaking. As an example, it's been found that up to 30% of prisoners have undiagnosed ADHD. And we know that treating the ADHD in this group almost halves the rate of subsequent reoffending. Symptoms of ADHD range from distractibility and forgetfulness, poor organisation and planning, impulsivity, restlessness, and dysregulated emotional behaviour. Over time, individuals often develop deep-seated feelings of low self-esteem and commonly other mental health problems such as depression, anxiety, and addiction-related problems. Many people with ADHD do present with mood disturbance and anxiety. They are negotiating a real neurological problem, characterized by lower activity of the brain chemicals dopamine and noradrenaline in various parts of the brain, that disturbs their executive function, that is, their ability to plan, prioritize, and regulate, and also alters the reward and motivational systems of the brain. A lifetime of this can often result in academic and employment failure, disturbed relationships, and substance abuse. Comorbidity or co-occurrence with other conditions is very common in ADHD, occurring in over 70% of cases. As well as depression and anxiety, there are commonly other neurodevelopmental problems in the mix, like dyslexia, dyspraxia, and autistic spectrum disorder. Focus is a real issue for people with ADHD, but it can go both ways. Not enough focus on one hand and sometimes too much in the case of hyperfocus. Both can have a knock-on effect on studies and work, with lower productivity and problems with task management and deadlines, but also in relationships with much higher rates of divorce. Their partners often feel that they just don't care, when in fact, very commonly, there are really good intentions, but a significant struggle with execution. ADHD has a strong genetic basis, amongst the strongest in all mental health conditions, with about a 20% chance of first-degree relatives also having it. It commonly clusters in family members, and the stress this creates can negatively impact family dynamics, especially when undiagnosed. Through better screening and awareness, better education of GPs and mental health staff, and a more responsible media, things are slowly changing. So although sometimes it's hard to see ADHD, The benefits of doing so are indisputable. Thanks for listening to us.